If you're looking for a way to get targeted red light therapy on your face, you may want to check out the Dermabeam Pro red light therapy device. Hey guys, Alex here from alexfergus.com, and yes, I'm wearing a red light therapy mask. I know, kind of crazy. I got asked about reviewing masks a long time ago, 2 years ago, maybe more, and I was always like, nah, not interested, but the day has come. Here I am reviewing a red light therapy mask. So many people have been asking about masks, and I was like, you know what, let's look at it. So I'm actually going to review this mask, the Dermabeam Pro, and I'm also going to review some other masks. I've got one from Hygge coming. I'll see what else I can get as well. So be sure to subscribe if you want to check those ones out. But in the meantime, yeah, we're gonna have a look at this. And now it's a little bit misleading when I say red light therapy mask, because if I slide my finger here, you'll notice it goes green and then blue and pink. And there's actually 7 colors on here, which is pretty neat. And it is a rather trendy looking mask. I can see through it. I can read. I can use my phone, which is all good. Anyway, so what we're gonna do in this video is we're going to have a look at this mask. We're going to share the key features, what you need to know. I am going to share my thoughts. I'm also going to fire up the spectrometer, and I'm going to see how much light is actually being emitted from these LEDs, and whether you should go with a mask or go with a traditional red light therapy panel. So first things first, here's what you need to know. Now this product is called the Dermabeam Pro. Dermabeam Pro, yeah, I think I've said that right. Produced by the company Dermabeam. It doesn't sound right as I'm saying it. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, this company is relatively new, at least to me, though they've got quite an extensive red light therapy product range. I have recently reviewed their Supreme 300 watt or 300W, which is their tabletop red light therapy panel. I'll put links to all that below if you want to check that out. They sell larger panels, and they've also got 2 masks, the Pro version and the standard version. I have the Pro one here. Later on in this video, we'll go through different masks on the market and the differences between the Pro and the other one. But in a nutshell, the company it's a US based company. It was founded by a guy who was suffering from eczema and a few skin issues, and he found red light therapy was a total game changer for him. And now he's he's selling these products to the world and helping others tap into the benefits of red light therapy. And the mask itself has 115 LEDs built in, as you can see there. It is battery powered, so you charge it with a provided cable. There's a little charging port, I don't know if you can see that, just up and where am I? Over here. They say charge it for about an hour. I haven't tested how long one full charge lasts yet, but I have noticed that there's 3 little LEDs on the inside here. I don't know if you can see them. I'm guessing that's your battery indicator. Mine is half charged, 50% charged. The side arm, which goes over your ear, I guess, there's a little touchscreen control panel on it, and I just slide my finger along there to change the colors as so, and I just hold, and that turns it off, and likewise to turn it on. Pretty neat. It actually took me a while to figure out how to use it, and then I saw the little hand symbol here and I thought, oh, maybe it's touchscreen. But once it's up and running, it's actually pretty easy to use, because I can just hold and I can slide to change colors. Works pretty well. Now I mentioned before there's 7 different colors. What is neat is the multi-wavelength LEDs, I guess that's what you'd call them, because all of the LEDs change color. So they're all going red, they all go green, they all go blue, which is pretty neat. That's something that we don't really see much in the red light therapy space. We have seen some dual chip LEDs that have like your 850 and your 660 at the same time, but it's not something we see very often, especially with 7 different wavelengths, which is pretty neat. The wavelengths and the benefits that are emitted from this mask include, and I had to get a list because it is quite a lengthy list here. We've got red light for collagen production, blue light for acne, green light for oily skin, dark blue for acne scars, yellow for reducing redness, pink for wrinkles, and then we've got a blend for sunspots. Now what I'm going to do later is I'm going to test the wavelengths and see exactly what's coming out. I'm going to also test the radiance as well. So I'll dive more into the wavelengths when we get up to that part of the review. Price wise, you can get the Pro mask for $250 at the moment. Otherwise it might be up to $300 if it's not on special. I do have a discount code. It is ALEX, ALEX. That will save you 10%, I believe. So that is pretty neat. Shipping is free to America, which is great, and it's $50 to get it shipped to your door if you live outside of America. I should also note that if you place an order for the Pro at the moment, you also get one of these stem cell face mask packs. I haven't used it. I don't really know too much about it. I'm not in the beauty space, as you can tell. I focus at Red Light Therapy. But hey, if you're buying this for a beauty point of view, which is probably what you are doing if you're buying a mask, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be handy. You can find out more over at the Dermabeam website. I'll put a link to it anyway. You can check it all out. But yeah, that is pretty neat. I'll probably give that to my wife and she can have a play around with it. And if you're curious to know what it's like, I'll follow up with a comment below. So I know traditionally I review red light devices, but as we've seen, this mask is more than just a red light therapy product. Six other wavelengths, 7 in total. And you may be thinking, well, what's the point of blue and green and all that other stuff? Well, yes, there is a lot of research showing that some of these wavelengths are beneficial for particular goals. So blue light, for instance, I know that is quite stimulating. So it could be good for, you know, using it in the morning or if you're traveling, but it's also well documented to help with acne. So if acne is a problem, you may be interested in the blue light in this. Some of the other claims here are from the Dermabeam website, such as pink light at 446 nanometers is good for wrinkles, and what have we got here? Dark blue for acne scars, green for oily skin. I don't know much about that. I haven't looked at the science on it. It's nothing that's really interested me. So I haven't gone into that world. I don't really have those issues with my face, so I can't really, you know, test it and report back on it. But I do know that these masks are rather popular in the beauty field. Like I've seen quite a lot of the reviews. And I know people have been playing around with blue light and stuff and green light in health and spas. Health clinics and spas for many years. So there must be something to it. I'm sorry though, I can't come in and say, hey, yeah, this stuff is game changing. I can say that red light therapy and the invisible near infrared light is game changing, life changing. So I'm going to focus more on the red light in this video, but of course I am going to mention those other wavelengths as well. As for use, the Dermabeam instructions say use this for 20 minutes a day, and it may take a few months before you start seeing changes. All right, so let's have a look at the mask itself. Now, it does look rather silly, I will admit it. It's probably cool to wear to like a rave or a party, especially with the face glowing behind the mask. If you look up close here, you'll see that there's goggles or eye protection built in, which apparently is quite unique to this product, because a lot of the red light therapy masks currently on the market just have eye holes, and you're getting a lot of exposure onto the eyes. So I can see the good and the bad with this, right? The good is, yeah, you're not getting any of that light directly into the eyes, though we do know that red light therapy into the eyes can be beneficial. It's more the brightness and too much of it that is the issue. So maybe you don't really need the protection, because I can tell you now that it's not as bright as like a traditional, you know, Biomax red light therapy panel. But still, you've got the eye protection there. But the other thing I'll note is, for me, I don't get a really good fit. Maybe it's because my nose is rather big, and when I put it on, you can't see it, but when I put it on, it doesn't give me a good seal. Like I'm still seeing light come in onto my eyes, but of course it's not direct on my eyes. If you've got a smaller face, or smaller nose in particular, it's probably not going to be as big of an issue for you. The other thing I'll notice though, if you look at the protection light, it's quite big. So if I put this on, I can feel it on my eyebrow down to sort of my cheek here. It's like, it comes right over here, right? Now, we know like the red light therapy can help with collagen and smooth skin tone and wrinkles and whatnot. In fact, that's what's claimed on the Dermabeam website. But with these eye protections built in, you've actually lost a lot of that area around the eye. So a lot of people who have dark circles under their eyes, or, you know, some wrinkles through there, they may want the light actually on that area, but the eye protection here is actually going to block it. Now, I guess you could pull this out. Yeah, I'm sure you could pull this out. I'm not going to do it in case I break something and I've still got this review to do, but I'm sure you could pull it out. And if not, it's just like a silicon sort of rubbery plastic around there. You could easily just come in with a sharp knife or scissors and cut it off if you weren't worried about it, because then you're going to get more light exposure around the eyes there. Otherwise, the armbands off the side, I think that's what they called. It fits reasonably well. For me, it's a bit loose. I mean, you're not going to be walking around with this, I guess, but maybe again that's because of the nose fit. There's no adjustable arms here, so it's a one size fits all. You can see through it. So at first I put it on, I thought, oh gosh, I can't see anything. But once you give it a few seconds, it's like, oh no, actually you can read. So I could read a book and I could use my phone, no issues, which is great. You wouldn't really want to walk around because you can't see beneath you or to the side very well. And in fact, 2 minutes ago when I was setting this up, I did walk around with this on my head, and I walked straight into the little table I've got here and hurt my shin. So I highly recommend not wearing it and walking around. What do you get in the box? Well, you get the mask. You get a carry case of sorts. You get a USB-C charging cable, no power plug adapter, and you get a little info sheet here, which tells you a bit about the specs, the benefits, the included wavelengths, replacements, contests, promos, and how to use it. All this information, it's the same information that was on the product website, I should mention as well. So there's nothing really unique there. And I don't believe, oh yes, here we go. To turn on and off, there's a touch sensor. So if I had read that, I would have figured it out pretty quick. One thing I should also mention, it comes with a 100-day warranty. Now, I actually find that to be a little bit on the low side. I mean, it's a 3-month warranty, right? Typically in the red light therapy space, we're seeing 1 year at a minimum. Like 2 years is sort of the norm now, 3 even, up to 5 years. So now before I get the spectrometer out and test the radiance figures, I know you're all looking forward to that. What are my thoughts on use, operation, what I like and what I don't like about that side of things? Well, I've already touched on the issues with the eyes and how it doesn't give me a super tight fit. You are getting good face exposure with it on. You are getting down to your chin, up to the top of your head, so that is good. One thing I don't like though, and I don't think there was a function for it, you have to choose which wavelength you want, right? And it says use it for 20 minutes. So if I want red, cool, I put on red and do it for 20 minutes. But what happens if I want, I don't know, like I want to reduce acne scars and boost collagen? Does that mean I have to do 20 minutes of red and then 20 minutes of dark blue? And then what happens if I've got some wrinkles as well? Do I then do another 20 minutes? All of a sudden I've got an hour like using this device. I mean, it's just not going to happen, right? Like really, I want to tap into everything. Acne, collagen production, oily skin, scars, wrinkles, sunspots, and reducing redness. I want to do all of that. So I was kind of hoping that there'd be a function in there where like you had all at once. You know, you had some red, you had some blue, you had some pink, some yellow, or a function where like every minute it rotated and alternated. Maybe over 20 minutes you'd get like, I don't know, 3 minutes of each color, right? That would be cool. Would have been easy to program. Maybe you'll see it in a future mode. Because yeah, I mean, otherwise, I guess one day I'll do red light and another day green, but a bit of a bummer there. The other thing, some people will get sick of wearing this after 20 minutes. It's, you know, it's a bit of a novel thing when you put it on, but I don't know. I can't see myself using it 20 minutes every day. Though saying that, this is probably marketed more towards females, and females do all sorts of weird and unusual and funny things in the name of health and beauty. In the name of beauty, I should say. I do some weird and funny things in the name of health, but yeah, in the name of beauty. So maybe they'll be happy sitting there reading the gossip magazines wearing this mask. All right, so the fun part, spectrometer, mask, let's do some testing. Now, if you've never seen any of my videos before, what this device does is it detects how much energy is coming out from these LEDs, how much light it's picking up, I guess. It's also testing for flicker, whether the LEDs are flickering. You're also picking up the actual wavelength breakdown, like what is the highest, the peak wavelength, what colors are incorporated in the LED, and all that good stuff. Anyway, we're gonna test it for each wavelength or each color, and I'll show you on screen the findings and give you my feedback. All right, first up, let's test the red light. This is meant to be 630 nanometers. I will admit it's going to be a little bit tricky getting a good reading. Oh no, that's not too bad. Okay, so what's interesting here is we're actually getting some flicker in these LEDs, which is not great. It's not a big issue. Some people aren't worried about flicker, but if you are, then yeah, it's a bit of a turn off. The EE figure here is your irradiance or power output. Now, if you're thinking that number's massive because you're used to seeing like 80s and 90s, and we're up in the 900s there, note that that's micro watts instead of milliwatts. So it's pretty much 1 milliwatt. Now, to put that in perspective, if I'm testing, say, a Biomax 900 at 6 inches, I'm getting, say, 70 to 90 milliwatts. So this is 1 at maybe half an inch. So what that means is that the LEDs are very, very, very weak in relation to a regular high-powered, red light therapy device, which doesn't surprise me because this is battery powered. It doesn't have any built-in fans, doesn't have any cooling technology built in or anything like that, right? It's just this little LED. So yeah, I mean, hey, you got it really close to the face, so that is good, but still, it's very weak. What else do we have here? We can also see the peak wavelength here, which comes in at 629, which is your 630. All right, let's test out the other colors. Okay, so for green here, again, we've got flicker in the LEDs, which is not great. You'll see now next to the EE, the radiance figure, it's 1. Previously it was the 900. That's because now we're up to milliwatts. So effectively that's like 1,000 on the previous screen. So I mean, it's a bit of a change compared to the red, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much identical when you're comparing it to the higher powered panels. Still low powered. And you're getting the peak light of 521 nanometers. So that's your green, which is interesting here because I'm looking at the product sheet and the green reducing oily skin and dark spots is meant to be 532. So I was getting 521. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. Next up, we're looking at blue. All right, so with blue, again, we've got flicker. The EE, the power radiance is actually higher there, 1.8, so nearly double the red, and a little bit and higher than the green as well. Doesn't surprise me because the blue, the shorter wavelength light is typically higher energy, so yeah, but still it's very low powered compared to your regular panels. And the peak light there, 461. On the spec sheet, the peak power is meant to be 415, unless this is the other blue. I'm not too sure. I'll come back to that. All right, now we're on to pink. Okay, so here for pink, again, we've got flicker. The irradiance is 1.2 and peak light is 629, but you'll see there, which is your red light, but you've also got the blue. On the spec sheet, it says improve wrinkles and age skin at 446 nanometers. Now, I'm just gonna have a look at this. The peak blue wavelength is 462, which is the blue down there. So I don't have any 446, and as you can see, that actually has a lot of red light in it as well. A lot more red light than blue. But then that's kind of cool in a way, because earlier I was saying, hey look, what happens if I want some red and some blue? Well then I'd probably use the pink. I'd combine the two colors, right? Because you are getting the red and you're getting a little bit of that blue as well. So that's one way around it. Okay, now we're going to test the dark blue. Okay, no, it didn't go to dark blue. So we had this pink color, and then we've got this like light pink purple color. So I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on here. Anyway, we'll test this one. Okay, so what we're seeing here with this color is we're seeing, again, flicker. The irradiance figure is 1.1 again, and you're seeing a lot of red and blue. So this is giving you an even mix of red and blue. So if you want more of the blue, then use this color. If you want more of the red, then use the previous one. Let's see what comes up next. So I'm just sliding my finger here, the color changes. So we're getting like a reddy orange here. I believe this is reduces redness and inflammation at 600 nanometers. Let's test it. Flicker, yes. Power radiance around that 1 milliwatt. And the peak there is 629 nanometers, which again is quite far off the 600 that is listed. In fact, in this particular reading, there is next to no 600 nanometer light. Okay, and then finally we've got this, it's gray on my product sheet, info sheet. It must be this color. It's like a white. Kind of cool, huh? All right, let's test this one. So the product sheet says that this is 400 to 700 nanometers. And yeah, that's what we are seeing. We're seeing all sorts of color. Again, we got flicker, power figure is 1.5, and the peak light is 460, which is your blue. So you're getting the blue, a little bit of green, a little bit of red, and then you're even getting a little spike up there in your near infrared, which is actually coming out to be 920 down here. So you're getting a little bit of everything there, though, as you can see on that chart, primarily blue. So that is a little bit interesting. What are the takeaways from that? Firstly, the wavelengths on the website and the product sheet do not match the tested wavelengths. And I know that device is bang on. I've done lots of testing over the years, and it's a $4,000 or $5,000 device. So it's really good in that regard. So I trust my device. I don't trust the numbers on the product sheet. Does that matter? Well, if they've incorporated those wavelengths because, you know, there was a study showing that, saying that, I don't know, 415 nanometer light is what you need for bacteria killing, you know, for acne improvement, and then we had no 415 in here, for instance, then yeah, that is a bit of an issue. So you really need to geek out on the science to find out more around that. My biggest concern though is the radiance, the power radiance. It's minuscule, right? Like, this is coming from a red light therapy background. I don't know anything or much about blue light and green light and all that in regards to using it on the body. If you want to get a good dose of red light therapy, you're probably not going to want to use this. I mean, you can, but you're only getting, let's say, 1 milliwatt, which is nothing. Like I said earlier, you can get Biomax 900, Biomax 600, Biomax 300 for a couple $100. Stand 6 to 9 inches away from it, and you're getting 70, 80 times the amount of light coming from this, amount of energy coming from this, and you're not right up close to it. If you got close to it, it would be even higher, you know, like 150 times what's coming from this. And if you're thinking, oh yeah, but this has got more LEDs, yeah, the Biomax 300 has like 100 LEDs as well, and they're big LEDs, and the treatment area is massive. In fact, let me just show you. Here, I've got a Mito Red, I think this is the Mito Mid, couple $100, has 100 and something LEDs on it. See the metal case, it's got 2 big fans on the back, power plug up the top here. This thing's bright and it puts out a ton of light. If you're wanting good quality red light therapy on your face, you're much better off getting something like this than something like this. Now that doesn't mean that this is bad and you shouldn't buy it. It just means if you're specifically after a way to expose your face to red light therapy, there are better ways than this mask to do it, and the panel's a good example. Now, if you're also wanting to tap into some of those other colors, like your blues and your greens and your pinks, then hey, obviously we can't do that with that red light therapy panel I just showed you there, because they focus on red light and near infrared light. Should you be worried about how low the power figures were with your blue and your green? I don't know, because I don't know what a good therapeutic dose of blue light is. You may actually find that 1 milliwatt is all we need. I'm not too sure. It's something that I'd have to look into a bit more, and I'm sure there's other people out there that have done a lot of studies on this and research on it. Where does that leave me? Well, you know what? One day I'm actually going to do a big head-to-head. Once I've tested some more masks, I'll do a big comparison video between masks and red light therapy panels and which one's better from a red light point of view. All right, let's move on to the last part of this video. Now, if you're set on getting one of these masks, I mean, they are pretty cool, right? Like, why would you not want a mask like this? Then what are your other options? Well, Dermabeam have 2 mask models. This, remember, is their Pro, the top model, $250 to $300 odd, 115 LEDs, I believe it was, and 7 colors. You can also get the Dermabeam standard mask, which is about, what do we got? $100 cheaper, $50 to $100 cheaper, has half the amount of LEDs and only has 3 colors. To be honest, I think it's much better value getting the bigger mask, the Pro version, because you're getting twice the amount of LEDs, more color options. And these LEDs aren't super powerful, so you're gonna want as many LEDs as you can get. What about other companies? Well, the only other red light mask that I'm more than familiar with, I guess, is the Hooga one. Now, I haven't tested it. It's on its way. Once it gets here, I will test it and do a video. I may even do a comparison video between these two. Their mask sells for $300, comes with 105 LEDs, 7 colors as well. They have a 2-year warranty instead of the 3-month one. I have no idea what the power levels are like on those. But otherwise it looks pretty comparable, 105 LEDs, 7 colors. Though it doesn't have the eye protection goggles built in, it looks a little bit more basic. And of course it's a bit more expensive. You can also spend $100 extra and get a neck piece as well that comes down here. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Otherwise, I don't really have much feedback as for other masks on the market. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll do my best to find some more products like this. Okay, so let's wrap this up. This is my first time testing a mask, a color mask, a color therapy mask. That's probably what I should call it, because it's more than a red light therapy mask. It's a lot of money, $200, $250 for something that isn't putting out a ton of energy. You could spend that $200, $300 and get a small red light therapy panel, and you're going to get literally 50 to 100 times the amount of light coming compared to the light coming from these LEDs. However, with those panels, you're only getting red light. You're not getting your blues and your greens and all that other cool stuff. It also means you've got a panel that you have to shine on your face, whereas this you can just slip on and read a book. But with the other panel, you can move it around and hit your knee if you've got a sore knee, or your feet if you've got sore feet, or your back if you get sunburned. You can't really do that with this. Well, you could, but I suppose you could. It's not really what it's designed for though. As for the wavelengths, that is pretty cool. You can tap into the blues and the greens and the yellows, all that cool stuff, which may be a total game changer. It's just something I'm not familiar with. The short warranty, 3 months warranty, is a bit of a concern, especially for the price you're paying, and it's a relatively new company. As for what else, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I can't say that I've been using this daily for 2 months and all my acne's gone and it's a total game changer, because I don't have acne. It's not an issue for me. It's hard for me to give feedback. So instead, I wanted to focus this more on, hey, look, these are the numbers from testing it. This is my feedback after years of testing red light therapy devices. And hopefully it gives you a bit more information. If you want to get a mask like this, at least it might help you make more of an informed decision, whether you should get this one or something else, or whether you should get the Pro model or the base model. I don't know. It's entirely up to you. I hope, though, I've given you some insight. Remember, if you do want to get one of these masks or any panel from the Dermabeam website, use discount code ALEX. It will save you 10%. Gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps create these videos and test more products like this. If you do have questions, or if there's something that I've missed, or there's something I should test, maybe you've been using masks for years and you know a bit more about them, yeah, leave all that feedback below, and I'll do my best. Be sure to subscribe to my channel as well, because I will be potentially be testing more masks and more products. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.